Hi, I'm Bill Alberti, and I'm going to be singing some Irish songs for you, talking a little bit about some of the songs and introducing you to a few places in Ireland. We'll get started. Over here on the board we have a picture of Dublin. Dublin's fair city, where girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone. She wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Oh, she was a fishmonger, and sure 'twas no wonder, for so was her father and mother before, and they both wheeled their barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles, mussels, alive, alive, oh. Oh, she died of a fever, and no one could save her, and that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. Now her ghost wheels her barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles, mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles, mussels, alive, alive, oh. It's called Molly Malone, or sometimes cockles and mussels. Cockles meaning like scallops and clams. They're a certain kind of clam in a way. So Molly was a fishmonger, meaning she was a fish vendor that had a cart that she would wheel through the streets, selling the clams, the cockles, and the mussels. She followed in her parents' footsteps, who had also been street vendors. Molly is a pretty common name for Irish, very popular choice for Irish girls' name. And the other thing is the city of Dublin has adopted that song as sort of their unofficial anthem. This next song that I'm about to introduce takes place in Kilkenny. This is a little picture of what Kilkenny looks like in Ireland. And it's the story of a young man who kind of is enamored by this gorgeous woman he sees on the street. Her hair hanging over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. The name of the song is the Black Velvet Band. She's a band of women who are pickpockets and make their money picking the pockets. They're very good pickpockets, and they pick the pockets of rich men walking down the street. He's right next to her, and she picks somebody's pocket, and then she notices the police, and she slides it into his pocket, and he's the one that winds up getting in trouble for it. It's called the Black Velvet Band. As I was walking down Broadway, not intending to stay very long, oh, I met with a frolicsome damsel as she came a-tripping along. A gold watch she took out of her pocket, and she placed it right into my hand. For the very first time that I saw her, bad luck to the Black Velvet Band. Her eyes, they sparkle like diamonds. Ah, you think she's a queen of the land. With her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. 'Twas in the town of Kilkenny, apprentice to trade I was bound, with gaiety and bright amusement, to see all the days go around, till this sad misfortune came over me, and forced me to stray from the land, far away from my friends and relations, betrayed by a black velvet band. Oh, her eyes, they sparkled like diamonds. Ah, you think she's the queen of the land, with her hair thrown over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Before the judge and the jury, next morning I had to appear, and the gentleman swore to his jewelry, the case against me was clear. 7 long years transportation, away down to Van Diemen's land, far away from my friends and relations, to follow that black velvet band. Oh, her eyes, they sparkled like diamonds. Oh, you think she's the queen of the land, with her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. Now all you brave young Irish lads, a warning please gather from me. Beware of the pretty young damsels you'll meet all around Kilkenny. They'll treat you to wine and porter until you're unable to stand. And before you have time to leave them, you'll be sent down to Vanderman's land. Oh, her eyes, they sparkle like diamonds. You think she's the queen of the land, with her hair hung over her shoulder, tied up with a black velvet band. The Black Velvet Band, Kilkenny. So Van Diemen's Land is a place where they would send criminals that were caught in Ireland to Australia. And it was a penal colony in Australia. So it was a pretty strict punishment if you got caught stealing something, someone's jewelry. You got transported, they called it transported. They put you on a ship and sent you to Australia to a penal colony. We'll see that again in a song or two. So my name is Bill Alberti. Alberti, of course, is an Italian surname, but my mother's side was Rooney. They were all Irish, and my grandparents were from Ireland. My grandfather was from Skerries, which is on the east side, right near Dublin, and my grandmother was from the west side, near Knock, in a place called Kiltimagh, just a little north of Galway. They did not meet in Ireland. They met when they came to New York. He became a chauffeur for a wealthy family. She became the maid, and they met, fell in love, got married, and wound up having 9 children. My mother, of which was obviously one of the Rooney clan. So for today, you can call me Liam. William is what I found out. I was studying in Galway at the University of Ireland one summer, and the professor kept calling me Liam. And I went up after class, I said, "Why are you calling me Liam, Professor?" He said, "Well, your name's William. That's Liam." And I hadn't known that. So for today, when I play in my Irish songs, I'll be Liam. This song is called Whiskey in a Jar, very popular song in Ireland, and particularly a pub song. Whiskey in a Jar takes place in a place called the Cork and Kerry Mountains. And It's the story, again, of a man who you might say is a robber. He's a highwayman, and he robs someone. And in this case, he robs an important lord and official, military lord official. And his girlfriend turns him in. As I was going over Cork and Kerry mountains, saw Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol and produced my rapier. I said, stand and deliver, ah, the devil he may take you, Bushardin Dumadoo Dumada. Back for Daddy-o, back for the Daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Well, I took all his money, and it was a pretty penny. Took all his money and I brought it home to Molly. Swore that she loved me, never would she leave me. But the devil take that woman, for you know she tricked me easy. Musher in Dumadoo Dumada. Back for the Daddy-o, back for the Daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now being drunk and weary, I went to Molly's chamber, taking me money with me, but I never knew the danger, 'cause about 6 or 7, in walked Captain Farrell. I jumped up, fired my pistols, shot him with both barrels. Shot it in Dumadoo Dumada. Back for the Daddy-o, back for the Daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now some men like fishing, some men like fowling, some like to hear the cannonballs a-roaring. Me, I like sleeping, especially in Molly's chamber. But here I am in prison, and here I will remain. Shot in Dumadoo Dumada. Back for the Daddy-o, back for the Daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Whiskey in the jar. Cut. We are back again. This next song is again about a highwayman. It's a wild rover. The name of the song is The Wild Rover. And it's the story of a young man who leaves home. He takes what money he has, sort of like the prodigal son, runs away and squanders his money and gets drunk and debauchery, etc. And then he finds himself a decent job, makes money, and he's going to come home now to his family. He goes into a bar and tries to buy a drink from the landlady on credit, and she says, I won't give you any credit. And then he pulls out his wallet and he's loaded. And he's going to go back and hope that his family will welcome him back. The Wild Rover. This again also is a very, very popular pub song. If you're so inclined to join in at any time in any of these songs, please do so. This song has a spot where a lot of people like to clap. It goes, and it's no, nay, never, 4 claps. No, nay, never, no more, 2 claps. Will I play the Wild Rover? 1 clap. No, never, no more, 2 claps. So it's 4, 2, 1, 2 on the claps. I've been a Wild Rover for many a year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer. But now I'm returning with gold in great store, and I never will play the Wild Rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more. I played the wire over. Oh, never, no more. Well, I went to an alehouse I used to frequent, and I told the landlady my money's all spent. And I asked her for credit. She answered me, nay, such a customer as yours I can have any day. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wire over. No, never, no more. Well, I took out of my pocket 10 sovereigns so bright that the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She said, I have whiskies and wines of the best, and the words that I told you were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wire over. No, never, no more. I go home to my parents, confess what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon their prodigal son. And when they've caressed me like oft times before, oh, I never will play the wire over no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never, no more will I play the wire over. No, never, no more. The wire over. This next song takes place in a place called Carrickfergus. This is a picture of the county that Carrickfergus is in. And I picked this picture because it shows a little bit of the ocean and the rocky cliffs. Carrick means rock, and Fergus means angry. There's a lot of angry rocks in Carrickfergus. Carrickfergus is in Northern Ireland, on the coast. It's about 11 miles from Belfast. And it's important in the song because it's a story of a lover who wants to go back to his loved one who is across the Irish Sea. Carrickfergus sits on the Irish Sea, the North Irish Sea, which can be very brutal to cross at times. And across the Irish Sea, 80 miles across, is a Scottish island. And he mentions the island in the poem and in the song. And he wants to get a boatman, a skillful boatman, to take him across so that he can see this girl that he loves one more time before he possibly dies. Peter O'Toole, the famous actor who was Academy Award winner for Lawrence of Arabia, he loved this song as a young boy. He brought it to America, but he had misheard it. He heard Kilmeny, which is in Scotland, as Kilkenny, which of course is in Ireland. And in the song, many people who sing the song will sing the words Kilkenny, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because Kilkenny is way south of Carrickfergus and inland. And the song is about traveling across the Irish Sea, of course. So it was just a misnomer that he brought that song over with that word, and it kind of stuck. Anyway, so now you know the inside scoop. This is a beautiful, old traditional folk song in Ireland, very, very popular, sung by many recording artists have recorded this song. It has a very haunting melody to it. I hope I can do it justice for you. I wish I was in Carrickfergus only for nights in Ballygrant. I would swim over the deepest ocean, to be by your side. But the sea is wide, I can't cross over, and neither have I the wings to fly. I wish I could find me a handy boatman to ferry me over my love to find. These childhood days bring sad reflections happy times spent long ago. My boyhood friends and my own relations have all passed on now like melting snow. So I spend my days in endless roving, soft as the grass, and my bed is free. Ought to be home now in Carrickfergus on the long road down to the salty sea. Now in Kilkenny it is reported there are marble stones as black as ink, with gold and silver. I did support her, but I'll sing no more now till I get a drink. Sure, I'm drunk today and I'm seldom sober, a handsome rover from town to town. But I'm sick now, and my days are numbered. Come all ye long, young lads, and lay me down. Come all ye young lads, and lay me down. Carrickfergus. Another interesting fact about Carrickfergus is, why would he wind up in Ballygrant, which is over in Scotland? Well, Ballygrant had gold and silver mines, and they hired the Irish. The Irish would get some jobs by ferrying across and working there in that town in the coal mines, in the mines that were mining gold and silver. Because there's a line in the song that says, "With gold and silver I did support her." So his salary from his mining days was helping to support his loved one there. Sad song. Maybe we need a joke, okay? Why can't you borrow money from a leprechaun? Because they're always a little short. Try to cheer up some of these sad songs. The Irish have a lot of happy songs, a lot of party songs, crack songs, as we call them. Crack is another word for party. But they also have some sad songs too, and love songs, and songs about highway robbers. You've seen them. You've seen them. We're back with a picture of, well, this is supposed to represent Killarney. I'm sure Killarney looks something like that, although Killarney may be a little inland. Call it a lake in Killarney. That is Ireland. So this song is called The Irish Lullaby, and it is a lullaby that you might sing to a baby. I remember my grandmother singing this. She loved this song. It's an Irish-American song. It was written in 1913 by expatriates who, ex-Irish patriots who, longed for their homeland. You see a lot of music, a lot of Irish songs about Irish people that had to emigrate because of the hunger, the Great Famine, and were living somewhere else, many in America, and longing to go back at some point, to go back to their homeland. It became a famous song when Bing Crosby recorded it in 1944. Over in Killarney, many years ago, my mother sang this song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in her good old Irish way, and I'd give the world if she would sing this song to me today. Hush, now don't you cry. That's an Irish lullaby. Oh, oft in dreams I'd wander to that cottage again, and I feel her arms a-hugging me as when she held me then. And I hear her voice a-humming as in days of yore, when she used to rock me fast asleep outside our cottage door. Hush, now don't you cry. That's an Irish lullaby. Okay, we're back again with a picture of a place in Ireland. This is actually in Connemara. This song is, again, it's an American Irish song. And again, it was about, people feeling sick for their homeland. It was written in 1912, and it became famous in America for at that 1912 period when the Irish were finally accepted in America. Originally, when they came over, they were persecuted. They were Catholic, and there were many Protestants in the areas they moved into. So they were persecuted, churches were burned, convents were burned. But eventually, the Irish got better and better jobs. They got politically active. They took many civil service jobs. A number of my uncles were policemen in New York City and firemen in New York City. And they became better and better respected. And by the turn of the century, by the 1900s, many of the Irish songs became more popular and were selling. There's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why, for it never should be there at all. With such power in your smile, sure a stone you'd be kind, so never a teardrop should fall. When your sweet lilting laughter's like some fairy song, and your eyes sparkle bright as can be, you should laugh all the while, and at other times smile. So smile, a smile for me. 'Cause when Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morn in spring, with a lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. Ah, when Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. But when Irish eyes are smiling, sure it steal your heart away. When Irish eyes are smiling. Okay, we're back again, and I have another picture for you here. Just a picture of Ireland. Of course, there's many old castles found all over Ireland. Ireland has got a strong, deep history. This song was written in 1912. It was written by Englishmen, actually. Well, it wasn't written by Englishmen, I'm wrong. It was written in London by Irish expatriates. The songwriter was in a pub, and he was bet that he couldn't write a song in one night. And he sat down and he wrote this song. And it's about trying to go back to Ireland, his homeland, and he was from a town called Tipperary. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. So goodbye to Piccadilly, and farewell Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, my heart's right there. And we're back. And we're back again with this is a picture of Ireland, but this story is about an Irishman who gets arrested for felony, sent in transportation, we've seen that before, to Australia, to a penal colony in Australia. He was only 20 when he was sent there. And he escapes from the penal colony in Australia and becomes a highwayman. He forms a gang and starts robbing people on the road. And it takes them 6 years to capture him. They not only capture him, but they shoot him dead at 26. It's called The Wild Colonial Boy. And it's based on a true story of a man named, Jack Doolan, I think was his real name, but they changed it in the song to Jack Duggan. And again, he was Bold Jack, known as Bold Jack in Australia. Again, a popular pub song. There was a wild colonial boy, Jack Duggan was his name. He was born and reared in Ireland, in a place called Castlemaine. He was his father's only son, and his mother's pride and joy, and dearly did his parents love the wild colonial boy. At the early age of 16 years, he left his native home and to Australia's sunny shores he was inclined to roam. He robbed the rich, he helped the poor, he shot James McEnroy. A terror to Australia was the wild colonial boy. One morning on the prairie, as Jack rode along, listening to the mockingbird singing its mocking song, out jumped 3 troopers from the brush, Kelly Davis and Fitzroy, and they set out to capture him, that wild colonial boy. Surrender now, Jack Duggan, 'cause you see we're 3-1. Surrender in the Queen's high name, you're a plundering son. Jack drew 2 pistols from his belt, and he proudly waved them high. I'll fight and not surrender, cried the wild colonial boy. Well, he fired a shot at Kelly, and it brought him to the ground. He fired point blank at Davis too, and he fell dead at the sound. But the bullet pierced the brave young heart from the pistol of Fitzroy, and that is how they captured him, the wild colonial boy. Bushwhacker. We have another picture of Ireland here for you. This song takes place in a place called Tralee, which is on the western side of Ireland. Tralee, and the song is called "The Rose of Tralee." And the story goes that there was this gentleman. He worked for a Protestant. He was a member of a Protestant family who had hired this Catholic maid, a poor girl, Catholic maid. Her name was Mary, and she must have been very beautiful, because this Protestant boy fell in love with her and wrote this song about her. And he called her in the song "The Rose of Tralee." And many years later, in 1959, some gentlemen in a pub decided that the weekly races, the horse races that they had in Tralee, and the festivals they had, they would crown a queen. So they decided, wouldn't it be great if we had a beauty contest? So in 1959, they started the beauty contest in Tralee. And now it's internationally famous. It's run every year to be crowned the Rose of Tralee. Girls come from, originally, they were just from Ireland, in the area of Tipperary, and Tralee, I mean. And then other parts of Ireland, that opened up to other parts of Ireland. Then it opened up to the whole world. It's an international contest. You have to be of Irish descent to enter. People have entered from Irish descent, have come to the contest from Italy, from Switzerland, from many, many cities in the United States. And in 1985, Helena Rafferty from Boston was the winner of the Rosa Tralli Beauty Contest. The current winner, which was in 2019, because of pandemic they couldn't have it this past year, was Sinead Flanagan, and she was from Limerick. The pale moon was rising above the green mountains. The sun was declining beneath the blue sea, when I strayed with my love to the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Tralee. She was lovely and fair, like the rose of the summer, yet was not her beauty unknown that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eyes ever dawning that made me love Mary, the Rose of Tralee. In the cool shades of evening their mantle were spreading, and Mary, all smiling, sat listening to me. The moon through the valley her pale rays were shedding, when I won the heart of the Rose of Tralee. She was lovely and fair, like the rose of the summer, yet was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eyes ever dawning that made me love Mary, the Rose of Tralee. Rosa Tralli. Mary, another very popular name for Irish girls, along with the name Kathleen. Kathleen. There's a great song. I don't have time to do it for you today, but it's called I'll Take You Home, Kathleen. And it was written, again, American-Irish. Husband and wife had come over from Ireland, and the wife, after a few years, was very unhappy, and he could see that she just longed to go back to Ireland, to her home. And so the song was written, I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen. Maybe another time we can play that for you. I'm coming up to probably the end of an hour here, I think, or close to it. So I'm going to try to finish up for you with a song called The Parting Glass. Now, this was originally a Scottish song, very popular, goes way, way back, traditional Scottish song. And it actually was the Auld Lang Syne song before Auld Lang Syne became so popular by Bobby Burns. Robbie Burns wrote Auld Lang Syne. It became a little more popular, but this song was was in that ilk as the very go-to song. It's sometimes called the stirrup song because it's about that custom where when your guest is getting ready to leave, you might offer them a cup of coffee before they head out on the road. Well, back in those days, they would get up mount up on the horse, and they would offer them a drink for the road. Yeah, we have that saying, one for the road. Now I hope it's coffee. So the song is called "A Parting Glass," and there's a little mystery about it. But basically, it can be read in several ways, but the way I like to think of it is this gentleman is with all his friends, and it's time for him to leave, and he's singing to them this song about saying goodbye. Of all the money that here I spent, I spent it in good company, and of all the harm that I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill me with parting lass, good night and joy be to you all. Of all the comrades ere I've had, they're sorry for my going away. And of all the sweethearts that e'er I've had, they'd wish me one more night to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, gently I rise and I softly call, good night and joy be to you all. Good night and joy be to you all. It's a wonderful way to say goodbye. I'll leave you with a small Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, my name is Liam Alberti. I'm a Kingston resident, and I'm filming here in a room at the Kingston Senior Center. So have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day, the month of March, and whether you're Irish or not, everybody wishes they were Irish in St. Patrick's Day. So take care till we meet again.